It is April 1942. The Japanese Empire has achieved an essentially unbroken string of victories. Even with the American thirst for revenge following Pearl Harbor, their morale was low. The Americans needed something bold to boost their spirits and show that the Japanese were not invincible. In January 1942, Lieutenant Colonel James Doolittle was selected to conduct a bombing raid against Japan. The United States was about to strike back. James Doolittle was a masterful aviator and strong leader. He had the difficult task of training for and leading the bombing raid against Japan. The plan was to launch 16 B-25 bombers from the carrier USS Hornet. The B-25 bombers would launch 450 miles from the Japanese mainland, drop their payloads on Tokyo and other Japanese cities, and then land in China. Of course, there were many potential issues with this plan. The B-25 was an Army bomber, not a naval aircraft, meaning it was not designed to take off from carriers. However, it was the only aircraft that had enough range and bomb load to conduct such an operation. Special training was given so that the bombers could take off within 300 feet. Additionally, sailing into deep enemy territory put the Naval Task Force at risk. Nevertheless, the plan was to proceed. On April 18th, Admiral Halsey's task force was sailing towards Japan, but was spotted at a distance of about 650 miles from Japan. Doolittle and Halsey had to make the difficult decision of canceling the raid, or proceeding immediately even though they were farther out than they should have been. The final decision was to launch, and the 16 bombers lifted from the flight decks. Once over their targets, Doolittle's crews dropped their payloads on oil storage facilities, factory areas, and military installations. Following the raid, it became clear that Doolittle and his men would not reach their intended destination. As a result, the crews either bailed out, crash-landed in China, or diverted to the Soviet Union. With the help of the Chinese people, most of Doolittle's crews were able to reach friendly forces. To punish the Chinese for helping Doolittle and his crews, the Empire of Japan killed as many as 250,000 Chinese civilians. 8 of the American Tokyo raiders were captured, with only 4 of the 8 making it back home. The Doolittle raid caused little physical damage, but it stunned the Empire of Japan and significantly boosted American morale. The Japanese leadership thought that their homeland was impenetrable, but this was simply not the case. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto wanted to prevent something like this from ever happening again, and thus ordered the attack on Midway. But as we all know, this attack did not end well for the Empire of Japan.